guys, like we all know, the dating stage is a phase where we get to know someone that we've recently met. This is the stage where you have to check if you are compatible with this new person you've recently met, or to see if this person is also compatible with you. The dating stage is actually a stage where a relationship can actually be formed, but if things don't go too well, it can actually ruin the potential of having a relationship with this new person. So I'm going to be telling you the do's and the don'ts of dating. More like the do's and don'ts of getting to have that first ideal date with that person that you've been yearning to meet for a long time, Let's get right into this. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I've missed you guys so much. My name is Haniel, to those of you who don't know me, and to those of you who already know me and have always visited my channel, thank you for coming back. Thank you for being so loyal. I'm so sorry I haven't been consistent here, but I'll try my best to be more consistent than before. I know I went off, but anyway, I'm back. Sweetheart, I am back. I'm back for you guys. So to the new subscribers, thank you all for subscribing, and to those of you who haven't subscribed, what are you guys waiting for? What are you waiting for? Please subscribe to this channel now, okay? I love you guys. Now to the topic of the day. Let's get serious. We're talking about the do's and the don'ts of dating, especially when you're going on your first date. What are the things you should do and the things you shouldn't do? Because certain times you go on a date and then you're expecting to be called for a second date and that doesn't even come up. You might be saying, oh honey, I'll just get into this topic already. Stop talking too much here. And I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. So let's get into this topic already. First of all, we'll start with the don'ts. What should you not do on your first date? So my darling, rule number 1, don't assume you know this person. Period. Don't assume you already know this person, because already this person is a stranger. You guys are now getting to know each other. You guys now want to know each other. The fact that you guys talk on the phone because you guys exchange numbers doesn't necessarily mean that both of you know each other. It's your first date, so this is a time for you to really get to know the personality of this person. Tip number 2. This tip goes hand in hand with the first one. Don't trust this person immediately. Like I said, this person is a stranger, so they might tell you a lot of things to make you believe them. Don't trust everything this person says immediately. Relax, get to know this person. Take everything this person has said with a pinch of salt. You don't know them. What if they're trying to smooth talk you so you can get lured to do certain things? You don't want that, right? Honey, relax. It's a first date. Get to know this person. Don't trust them immediately. And yes, back to rule number 1. Don't assume you already know them. Now moving on to the next tip. This tip is super important. I don't know how you're going to see it, but it's super important. This one, I take it very seriously, and I expect people to take it super seriously. Now listen, as a lady, if you're going on a first date with a guy, make sure it is happening in a public place. This one should even be number 1 for you, even though it's the 3rd on my list, but it should be number 1. Literally, it should be number 1 for you. As a lady, when you're going on a first date with a guy, make sure you're not going to his house. A first date cannot happen in a guy's house. It can't. Make sure you're meeting this guy in a public place, like a restaurant, an open place, of course, a park, somewhere with a lot of people. In case you don't understand the meaning of a public place, a place that's filled with people. Okay, a place where you can be safe. Should anything happen if you're in his house, will you be safe then? Look, as a lady, if you're going on a date with a guy, make sure it's happening in a public place and not in his house, period. I don't understand how some guys can say the first date should happen in their houses. This doesn't work. It's not working for anybody, unless he's self-centered. Sorry, but unless if he's self-centered. If he feels his house is his comfort zone, he can as well meet you up at your house, but be careful. You don't know if this guy is a criminal. You don't know if this guy is a ritualist. You don't know if this guy is a murderer. You don't know who this guy is, for goodness sake. I mean, you don't even know who this guy is. And yes, to the guys, I'm so sorry to break your hearts, but yeah, inviting a lady to your house for a first date is completely inappropriate. I mean, you might have the best of intentions, you might have a mansion and all of that, you just want to show it to her, but you're setting up a very wrong impression about you. You're making her feel like you're a womanizer. You're making her feel like you want to take advantage of her, and you're making her feel like she's cheap. That's all I can say about that. First date in the house, no. Now here's the next tip. Apparently a lot of people feel this one, like a lot of people feel it. Don't talk about your exes on your first date. Don't talk about your ex or your exes. We don't care about that. We don't want to hear about your ex on the first date. You know, talking about your ex on the first date actually gives the other person the impression that you still either love your ex or you hate your ex so much, and they're actually going to feel like, okay, so do you think that me being with you will actually be a good idea? You do not want to set the tone for this new relationship or this potential relationship on a very wrong note. We don't care about your ex on the first date. We can actually ask you about it later on, and then like you can get to open up about it. But listen, the first date is to get to know each other and not third parties. You can talk about family, talk about other things, but don't talk about your ex on the first date. It's a no. Like, it's a real no. No. And yes, to the next tip. This particular one applies to the whole dating stage, like not just the first date, the whole dating stage. Ladies, don't even try to be his maid. Don't try to be his maid. You are not his maid. So stop trying to be his maid. If he says stuff like, oh, I want to know if you're a wife material, that's why I want you to cook, I want you to clean the house, I want you to scrub the floor, I want you to like wash, I want you to do this, I want you to like take care of my whole family, like during the dating stage, the stage where you're trying to actually get to know him, honey. You can as well go on to tell him, oh, okay, you know what, I've also been trying to see if you're husband material, so how about you buy me a house, you know, that way I'll know if you are a husband material. Then whatever his reaction will be, honey, no, that should also be your reaction to the same thing. Because seriously, you are not going to be a maid for somebody. If he wanted a maid, he should have gotten one. Like seriously, you don't want someone manipulating you into doing something that you don't usually do during the dating stage, all because they feel like, yeah, if you do this, I'll marry you. I want to test if you're a wife material. Honey, you don't need to prove to him that you're wife material by going to scrub the floor. You don't need to prove to him that you're wife material by going to wash all his clothes and the clothes of everybody in his family. Like, I can't even think about it. Anyway, let's move on from that part. But don't be his maid. Another thing you shouldn't do on your first dates is this. Don't talk about how great you are. Like, we don't care. We don't care. You might be the most important man on earth. You might be the most important lady on earth. We don't care. We want to get to know you, not like how great you are. And yes, that brings me to the next point. Don't make the date all about yourself. Don't make the date all about you. It's not fair. At least allow this other person to talk. I'm not limiting this discussion to a particular agenda. Okay, I'm not limiting this discussion to a particular agenda. Everything on this list is for both parties, because I'm sure that it will help both the guys and the females, because some people have actually asked me questions about how to get about, you know, going on a first date and all of that. But these are my own opinions, okay? These are just my own opinions, and I'm sure it will really work for you. So let's continue with this. Don't make the date all about you, okay? No one likes that. You shouldn't always be the one talking. And then the other person is listening, and it's just all about you. Even if they ask a question, try to like find a way to also make them talk. You understand? It shouldn't just be about you. And I did this, I did that, I was able to accomplish this, I was able to do this, so I became this, I became that. I'm like, okay, it's not a campaign, it's a date. Okay, it's not a campaign, honey, it's a date. And yes, let me also let you know something. When this new person is talking to you, when this person you're meeting is talking to you during this first date, be interested. You shouldn't be checking your phone. Like I see a lot of people doing that thing, it doesn't make any sense. Like you're on a date with somebody, but then instead you're checking your phone. Why? So why are you on this date with this person in the first place if all you're going to do is like check your phone, is flipping through different pictures of other people, going through, it's not right, it's inappropriate. It shows how rude you are, especially on the first date. You don't want to be perceived or be seen as someone who's rude. It's not right. When you're going for a first date, make sure you are not underdressed. It's better to be overdressed. It's better to look like a high-class person. I'm not saying you should fake it, yeah, but I'm saying you should look presentable. Do not look underdressed. It's not appropriate. Don't go on the first date putting on flip-flops. Like, who does that? Don't wear flip-flops. Don't, there's certain things that you shouldn't put on a first date. I think I have to make a whole video for ladies and for guys as well. Things you should put on and should not put on the first date or during the first 3 dates. You need to sell yourself in the best possible way. Put yourself out there in the best possible way. You shouldn't be looking like a beggar on your first date. It doesn't speak well of you. Okay? So this point is actually very important. Don't try to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. I'm sure you already understand this point. I don't need to explain. And for the most important one, okay, I beg you, don't try to be somebody that you are not, because one day your cover will get blown. And when it gets blown, maybe this guy or this girl that you've been able to attract with all those fake life, negativity and all that around you, eventually he or she will run away from you because you've been fake all along. Try to be yourself. Like, don't try to be somebody that you're not. Okay, if you know this is who you are, be that person. Let them know this is who you are. Now to the things you should do on your first dates. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? I know you are. You're listening. Let's go. When you meet this new person, honey, there's one thing that turns everybody on, confidence. Confidence. See, when I say confidence, I'm not saying false confidence. I'm not saying be proud. Be confident. There's nothing that impresses a lot of people more than how you carry yourself. Once you're confident, people will know. You can't meet someone and be feeling inferior or be feeling intimidated. People will sense it. And the moment people sense that inferiority oozing out of you, honey, then okay, this person, I can easily manipulate this person. Okay, don't ever show that you're feeling inferior or intimidated by this person. No matter who this person is, be confident. Be confident. Even if it's a president, be confident. You never know, you might decide to date a president one day. You might be the first lady of a country one day, and he's not gonna need a weak woman by his side. Just saying. I said what I said. Okay, so moving to the next tip. Make sure to be yourself in the best positive way. But if you laugh like a hyena, it doesn't apply to you. Don't be yourself in this department. Fix the way you laugh before you even think of being yourself. Because if you are being yourself while you're laughing like a hyena, now run away. This is also a continuation of the do's on a first date. We're still talking about the do's. We're done with the don'ts already, like a long time ago. This is also the do's. So make sure to make eye contact with this person. There's nothing as strong as an eye contact. Do you know? Some of you don't know. Some of you just don't know. It's weird when you're talking to somebody and they can't look you in the eyes, unless of course they're shy, but at some point they should be able to look at you. How would you feel if maybe you're talking to me, for instance, like you're talking to me and I'm looking at everywhere, like, yeah, so as a matter of fact, and I'm not looking at you. It's only showing that I'm feeling so intimidated. I'm not feeling shy, but I'm also feeling intimidated. So another thing you should also know, you should be polite to this new person. Be polite to the people around you. If there's a doorkeeper, when he opens the door, be polite to him. Can greet him. Of course, he's a human being. Okay, the fact that he opens the door doesn't make him less of a human being. He's a human, so greet him. Okay, the waiter, when the waiter comes to serve you, you have to also greet them. Be polite to them. Be polite to people who come around you during the date and even after the date. Besides, you're supposed to be a polite human being generally. Like you're supposed to be a polite human being. Politeness is always very important. Like a lot of people don't know, but it's super important. Another thing you should do on your first date is to turn up on time. I know someone's wondering, why am I laughing? Yeah, most of the time I go to certain places late, but I do apologize. Not for dates anyway. But yeah, turn up on time. Okay, turn up on time. It's always very important to turn up on time. It tells that you are someone who keeps the time. Turn up on time. And if you're late, I beg you, apologize. An apology can go a long way. If you turn up late and you don't apologize, to look as if I don't care, I'm a queen in my own world. Honey, go and make your own world. Okay? So this one, I want my ladies to listen very well. To this one especially. I want you to practice the habit of listening more, especially on your first dates. I'm not saying you shouldn't speak. I'm not saying you shouldn't ask questions, but listen more. Cultivate the habit of listening more, especially on the first date. You can chip in certain things, make the conversation lively, but listen more. You want to get to know this person very well. Do you know, if he's only the one asking you questions and you're always talking, at the end of the date, you will find out that you don't really know this person. I know you can't know somebody on the first date, but yeah, if you're not really listening, you end up knowing that you were the one doing most of the talking. You were giving your information to someone else, but you weren't getting any information from this person. You understand? Engage in this conversation, but try to listen more. I get what I'm trying to say. Engage in a conversation, but try to listen more than you speak, because you want to get information. You want to get to know who this person is before you really give out all your information. If that makes sense, please. I hope it makes sense to somebody. I guess another thing you need to do is to ask questions. Apart from just listening, ask questions. Like I said, engage in this conversation by asking questions. You know, when you don't ask questions, this conversation will not keep flowing. It won't keep going. If you just answer and you just end it there, there'll be awkward silence between the both of you, and it's not okay. So once you've answered his question, or you've said something related to something that he wants you to give him information about, ask a question, ask a follow-up question. There's nothing as important as asking questions, follow-up questions. But my darling, when you're asking questions, don't ask questions as if you're trying to interrogate him. Don't ask questions as if you're trying to interrogate her. Don't ask questions like a police officer who has come to interrogate people from a crime scene. Otherwise, this person will run. Like, when you're asking these questions, ask these questions in a fun way, and make sure you're being honest. That's also leading to another point, which is do be honest. Like, be honest about yourself. Be honest, of course. So this is another tip. Okay, it's very important that on a first date, you give compliments to the person that you're meeting. It's going to be like a major way to break the awkwardness between the both of you. Something like, oh, your dress is lovely. Before you know it, oh, thank you. And I also love your haircut. Something like, you know. So for the last tip of the day on what to do when you go out on a first date, be a fun kind of person and make sure to allow your good sense of humor to come out. Look, I don't care what happens, but I love it when people have this, you know, good sense of humor. It's something for me. I don't know why, but it's something for me. It might be something for some other person, so you never know. They might just be looking for someone who's fun, adventurous, somebody who has got a great sense of humor, so don't allow it to hide. And like I said, to those of you who laugh like hyenas, work on it. Like, work on it. Work on it. I'm going to look at it. Work on it. We cannot be having Dracula and hyena laughters on the first date. Like, no, we cannot be having it. We can't be having hyenas and Dracula laughters on the first date, okay? You know, I love you, but change it. Oh, I forgot to mention, in all that you do, make sure you are not boring. That is the most important thing in getting to get a call back for a second date. Okay, if the first date is actually super exciting, there's a high probability, there's a high chance that the second date will actually be planned, probably even on the first date. Or you might get a call from this other person saying, oh, hi, I enjoyed this first date, can we like do this some other time? And then you guys will have another date from there. Before you know it, you guys are already in a relationship, you know. But my darling, don't be boring. It's not cool to be boring. Nobody likes somebody who's boring. Besides, you're planning to have a future. You're planning to spend the future with somebody who's super exciting, and not somebody who's going to be like, yes, no, you're not trying to plan your future with a robot. Okay, we've come to the end of the do's and don'ts of dating in 2021, especially if you're going on a first date. Okay, so if you liked this video, kindly do well to like this video, leave a comment on this video, kindly do well to share this video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I am still your girl, Haniel Jamin, and do not forget to follow me on Instagram at Haniel Jamin, of course, Haniel Jamin. And yes, before this video comes to an end, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more exciting videos and for more educational videos like this. And of course, once in a while you'll be seeing vlogs here and there, you know. Yeah, so I'm done. Thank you so much for watching. I am your girl, Haniel, and I love you all.